My wife's desk space is a complete disaster. So when Furologee, or Furologee, however you say that, offered to send us an L desk, at first I was kind of skeptical because I didn't want to accept a desk from a random Amazon seller, but they offered to send it to us for free, which we obviously accepted because this video exists. And all we had to do was just make a video and give our honest thoughts and opinions. So that's what this video is gonna be about. Transferring my wife's desk space from that horrid mess that you just saw to this. First things first, we got to get everything removed out of this corner and organized somewhat, or at least out of the way so we can make space for the new desk. And just to be clear here, we have no problem with our old desk. The old desk has been great for the last 2 years we've had it. It's just not functional in this area anymore. I want to take the opportunity to clean up this space so we could have a nice clean area to start assembling the desk. Even though the box recommends having a team lift when lugging it around, it was only about 65 pounds, so getting it around the house was a little bit of a struggle, but I managed to do it on my own. The contents of the box was well packaged, so nothing arrived damaged. Everything with this desk is labeled, which is very nice to see, and all the nuts and bolts were also magnetic, which was really cool. It made it very easy to work with if you have a magnetic screwdriver. All of these shelf panels, as well as the desktop itself, are made of particle board, but it does feel pretty high quality, I would say, as they do have some weight to them and also have a durable feel to them. All of the metal on the desk is made out of steel, which is great because it makes it magnetic if you want to magnetize anything to it, and it also gives it a very sturdy feel. Speaking of sturdiness, I was twisting and pulling one of the legs of the table to kind of just generally test its strength, and I did actually manage to break one of the welds, and the welds on each of the corner elbows are not the best, so you definitely want to be careful during assembly to not damage those. But once the table is put together, I think it's pretty stable and it supports itself, and that's not something you have to really worry about risking damaging.
Baby, do you want some nuts? Both of them?
Perhaps the greatest strength of the desk lies within the user manual, which makes the assembly process extremely easy. Couple that with everything being labeled and an easy to follow instruction set, and you've got yourself a stress-free assembly process. Despite how easy the manual is to follow, I found myself playing a fun little game where I would try and spot as many spelling errors as possible. And I'm going to leave you with this page here, and you can pause the video if you want to try and see if you could spot as many errors as you can. Moving on from that, the drawers are a cloth material and fairly stable. However, I question the long-term effectiveness of these and just how much dirt and grime will build up over the years. But honestly, what do you expect from a $150 table? The desk does come with a power strip, and the cord length for the power strip is about 4 feet 10 inches, and on the website it claims to be 6 feet 6 inches. That's just not true. And there are 3 outlets and 2 USB ports included on the power strip. There are 2 possible configurations, and the one we chose here leaves the long side with 66 inches of length and the short side with just over 47, and the table depth is 19 inches. Speaking of discrepancies, here the desk claims that it can support a total capacity of 380 pounds, which I just don't believe. And then if we go down into the description, we can see the load capacity actually lists it at 180 pounds. And I'm more inclined to believe this number based off my experience with the desk. So keep that in mind. Don't really rely on these pictures as they're not entirely reliable, and honestly neither is the description for that matter. One oversight in my opinion is they should have included plastic or rubber washers for all of the bolts and screws, so that way you won't damage the actual frame of the desk when tightening down the bolts. To make assembly easier, you're going to want to use an H4 bit and an H3 bit instead of using the included Allen wrenches. This desk does come with 2 monitor stands, but considering that the desk is so shallow, I found a better use for them to actually prop up my network rack up off the floor, and they are pretty useful, I would say. Finally, with the desk completely assembled, here are your Glamour shots. It's been just over a week, and I'll say my wife and I are definitely both satisfied with the desk. She appreciates having the extra desk space in its L configuration. She can work with both of her computers more effectively and efficiently. Having direct storage underneath the desk is great because now when she takes things out to use them, she has somewhere to put them when she's done versus just leaving them out on the desk. Now, one thing I want to urge everyone out there, if you do decide to buy this desk, it is very shallow at 19 inches. So be sure to use monitor arms if you have a monitor that you plan to sit on the desk. With a laptop, it's fine, but any additional monitors, especially because they have such wide bases typically, you're going to want to put those on monitor arms to just save as much desk space as possible. And I think that's what really helped her enjoy this desk a lot more, because when we first finished building it, we were like, wow, that's small. But once we got everything laid out, she really was happy with how it turned out in the end. So with all that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.